How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all well. Welcome back to the next episode. And today, once again, we're looking at TikTok, and specifically someone on TikTok who, by some reason, decided to ruin his own life, which was going pretty well beforehand by the few metrics I have before me, right? A lot of people saw this video already, so I will not spend too much time looking at the video and more spend time kind of just speaking about the dangers that sometimes TikTok has on people. Kind of I don't want to say necessarily the culture around TikTok, but a lot of the culture online that has really pushed people into potentially dangerous situations for themselves. And with that being said, let me actually show you the video. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it, but for those who have not, essentially a guy quits his job, a well-paying job, to go ask Logan Paul for a job. And here's the video.
I quit my job. No,
wait,
it's a story.
I'm interested.
It's a story. I just talked to Logan Paul. I mean, like, he was just being nice, and I get it. Media, whatever, he has to be nice. Before I approached him, he was bragging about making $3 million. I make $100,000 a year. I'm 22. I do make $100,000. That's cool. And I want to act. I want to do these things.
So there's a little bit more of the clip I will show you a little bit later on. The entire video, I think, is around 2.5 minutes. I will not show you the entire 2.5 minute video since a lot of you, including myself, have already seen it. So feel free to go search the full clip if you'd want to see it. I just had to pause it here briefly. Just the whole nonchalant, I make $100,000 a year. Not even looking at the fact that he said, I'm 22. Just looking at the fact that he said, I make $100,000 a year, it really doesn't matter how old you are. That is a very, very good amount of money, right? I mean, no, you're not buying a mega yacht with $100,000 a year, but you can sustain a family on $100,000 a year and still have money left over to, I don't know, either invest or go on vacations or, spruce up your house or whatever. And at the age of 22, like, normally people's income increases as they get older. It's not a perfectly linear line, but in a lot of lines of work, the more experience you have, the more valued you are, and the more valued you are in the labor force, the more you will be paid in some situations. It's not a perfectly efficient market. I think we all know this. But the fact that you dropped a job that pays $100,000 a year to take a massive risk, and I'm all for risks, but they have to be calculated risks at the end of the day. And it just kind of rubs me a little bit the wrong way of the whole, yeah, I make $100,000 a year. That's cool, I guess. You can't just be saying, I guess, with that. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure that if anyone else is making $100,000 a year, they wouldn't just say, that's cool, I guess. No, you'd say, I'm very happy with what I'm doing, right? I'm very happy with that. And you wouldn't just say it so nonchalantly, and you also wouldn't give it up so nonchalantly. So I'm going to play a little bit more of the clip just to give some more context, and then afterwards we will kind of have a general discussion about this situation, and then more broadly about just some parts of online culture that probably have kind of not perpetuated this, but kind of made this seem okay. And it's not 100%, okay, it is 100% the guy's fault for doing this, but he definitely was influenced by certain aspects of what's going on today. I think we should have a little chat about that, but here's a little bit more of the video for context. Feel free to skip ahead if you've already watched it. I'm going to play like 30 more seconds.
About business, trying to get a job. Like, I want to do media. I've been trying to get.
What are you good at?
I was 7 dances. I did like
What's
that.
Your TikTok
I did that video, like going like that.
Oh, so you really got what it takes.
I don't.
Then why would I need a mentor? Why would I do that?
I want to be like. I'm 22 years old. I'm just trying.
I bet I can't be a mentor right now, right? In my life, myself, I need a mentor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need
connections, and you need people be around you, right?
No, I didn't have connections and people around. I have Jake. That's it. Do you have a brother? Do you have people? Friends?
I don't.
Friends? You got friends. You got amigos.
I don't.
You don't have friends?
I don't. I swear to God.
So basically in the rest of the video, he asked Logan for a job, and Logan says no because I mean, if some random guy snuck onto your set and said, give me a job, like, I'm sorry, man, that's just not how it happens. Like, there's an interview process. First of all, you need a certain level of trust with anyone who works with you, and especially on such a personal level like an influencer in their team. You need a certain level of trust. And let me just say that sneaking on and basically breaking into someone's kind of like private space, which I think behind the scenes of something, if you're not don't have clearance to go back there, I do believe that to be a private space. If you're basically breaking into that place, you're not starting off with a great level of trust, to say the least. The main thing I want to talk about is the majority of the clip I showed you, which was kind of focusing in on basically when Logan said, I can't give you a job. And he's like, you need to do it yourself. And kind of like the guy is kind of like shock and awe of like, wait, he's not going to give me a job. And he's like, I need the connections. And then Logan was like, I didn't have any connections, right? First of all, I just want to say before I go any further, any future comments I make during this video, I want to do my best for us to detach it from this guy, because he's obviously has a lot of attention on him, and I don't want to necessarily make this personal while I will be using his case as an example, because it is a very prominent and a very kind of extreme example. I do want to kind of talk about it in more general terms, and I just want that to be known going forward. Anyways, let's actually talk about what we just saw. So a lot of people have been pursuing passions that they have that in prior generations they just simply couldn't. Basically, the internet is a good thing. I mean, if you think about it, if you were super into knitting in the 70s and you lived in the 70s, that would be cool as a hobby, but it could truly never be anything more than a hobby unless you were willing to basically devote your life and all your money to it, because you'd maybe wanted to start a knitting store or something, which there's a lot more to knitting than a knitting store, right? When it comes to a knitting store, you'd have to have a down payment, you'd have to have an investment, you'd have to there'd be so much going into it. Basically, if you're in the 70s and you were really into knitting, congratulations, that's going to be nothing more than a hobby. With the birth of the internet, right, you can find a community of people who are also into knitting and properly monetize it and potentially make it your job. It's how people are able to play video games for a living. That would have never been true in the 2000s or the 90s when video games were also popular, thanks to the internet and as well the monetization of the internet that is popular, or that is possible, I should say. Unfortunately, some people have conflated the ability to and the guarantee of when it comes to these things. I mean, look, here's the hard truth about internet personalities, right? Most of them got lucky, including myself. I'm not going to say that I didn't know what I was doing, right? I've been studying this for a very long time, but I'm also not going to say that I predicted every single rise I had and every single fall I've had, right? I cannot say that because that wouldn't be the case. To be fair, I have been doing YouTube for 5 to 6 years at this point. A lot of those videos are deleted because they're different types of content and it simply wouldn't fit with the channel. Plus, I was pretty cringe back in the day and probably am still a little bit now because I'm doing YouTube videos, but whatever, right? But there was a long process to it. It didn't happen overnight. I also couldn't see it coming. And, I posted every single day for the last year. Over the summer, I posted 2 times a day. And even then, I had no guarantees. And the thing is, I think it's important to remember is when it comes to job markets for jobs that people would much prefer rather than being a clerk at a store. Not saying that's necessarily a bad job, but I think the average person would prefer to be a YouTuber than a store clerk. This might not be the case, but for those reasons, there's a certain level of competition when it comes to internet jobs of any sort. And because a certain level of competition, there's no guarantee you get anywhere, right? You're only going to get somewhere if the social media website promotes you, which you'll have to learn the promotion algorithms. And if you can keep people watching, you're guaranteed nothing, basically. You're not really guaranteed anything in this world, but if you go the more traditional job path, you can at least, there's a lot more openings, there's a lot more pathways, and it's much closer to guaranteed than anything on the internet. I'm not saying that jobs are guaranteed in real life, and I'm not saying jobs on the internet are important, but there's a huge difference between on the levels of, you can guarantee things. You can project having a job if you, become a computer science major. You cannot project making $1 per month if you want to, show off your collection of webkins for the internet, right? It's just completely different. I think it's incredibly good that people are able to live out their dreams, and I think that's awesome, honestly. It's great for like the spirit of, our community. But at the same time, I'm afraid that it's kind of gone too far. The pendulum has swung too far to one side, and now people are giving up. If, for example, this guy specifically, I don't want to use him specifically, but he's a very good case. He gave up a job that is $100,000 per year to go to Los Angeles. Please never do. If you're one of the people watching me and you want to do something, maybe you want to play video games or be a streamer or you're an art, I don't care. You want to make money online, please just always have it be a little side thing. I'm not saying it could never be your full-time thing. I have friends who YouTube was a side thing and now it's their full-time thing, such as my friend Poncho. I was speaking to him when he was in college, working a part-time job, and was a YouTuber. Now he's a YouTuber who doesn't work a part-time job and doesn't go to college. He's moving on to music, but he's in a good position to do it, right? But the thing is, Poncho didn't quit his job in college before YouTube could reasonably make sense to do full-time. I need you guys to do the same thing. If you watch this channel still, I appreciate you, and since I appreciate you, I want you to do well in life. And my suggestion is, if you have a job, or even if you're in a schooling path that makes sense, that isn't, because look, there are some majors that don't really guarantee you stuff as much as other majors. For example, if you're a computer science major, do not quit your major, right, to go to Los Angeles to become a Minecraft streamer. Please don't do that. Don't do that for me, right? If you have a job, and I don't care if it's paying maybe you're 30, 40K per year, right? Not 100,000 per year, but still something you can definitely live off of and create something with. Do not quit it to go to LA. If you want, stream on the side. Do that stuff on the side. Make plans. I just don't want you to I don't want you to end up like this guy, basically. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, consider clicking on one of the 4 videos/playlists you see on screen right now and watching them. Literally just watching some of my old videos boosts the channel, and it's just good for the health of the channel. So if you got nothing better to do, click on one of those videos, subscribe if you haven't, leave a like, and peace.